Welcome to RezoBiz. This is part 2 of a 3-part video for the Rob Ickes build. And this week it's getting exciting. Painting is getting done. And there is a dreaded part that I share with you, and you'll even see why it's dreaded in this video coming up. Here we go. Hi, I'm Byrl with Byrl Guitars, and this is RezoBiz, where everything is greater with a resonator. Alright, so I don't know, I've been going at it, painting and spraying, and now I've realized I don't know that I've actually shown the guitar on video. So here's where I'm at, is I've got it sprayed and I'm sanding it down so you can see the side sanded. These little spots you see that look like white fleck, they're actually divots or from orange peel. You say, well, why don't you sand them out? Well, I don't want to go through the finish. If I go through the finish and I get into the stain that's on this, it is a hassle to fix. So you got to be real careful. So I'll just get it close and then I'll spray another coat and we'll see how it looks. Here's with the dust on it. Look at the figure of that. That at a distance, it looks like the wood itself is fire. Yeah. Here's the top. Again, there's little imperfections that have to be fixed. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going through. When you sand it down, you'll see little things. So the neck's looking pretty good too. It's going to be cool. I'm excited to show him. Very excited. Alright. A lot of times I will show my customers the progress on their instruments and let them see how it's coming. With Rob, I've only got a general idea of what he wants. I actually asked him if what would you like in your next guitar, and by the way, he just likes guitars. I think he's collecting them is what it is. He's happy with his guitar that he's got now, the signature model. He seems to really like that, but he's not real definite in, well, I want this wood and I want this color and I want. He doesn't say that. He just kind of, well, I'd like to try maybe, and he mentioned the sound forward hole and the deep body. But other than that, he kind of left it up to me. So I just told him I'd surprise him. Okay. So I haven't showed him anything. I haven't showed the color. I asked about the color. Do you mind? And I told him orange. He's like, what do you mean by orange? And I give him an example of something I've done. And I showed it to him. And he says, oh, okay, I think that's all right. And this is not really even like that. This is because I also know he likes the dark on the edges and stuff. So I've done this one a little darker. But anyhow, I hope he likes it. I think he will. I know he likes figure. I know he likes a bit of, he definitely likes figure. He likes fancy. He definitely gets out of the box a little bit. Hence his shear horn had that piece of tortoise right in the center. It's just, nobody had that. That was just a Rob thing. But he does like that kind of stuff. So I think he's going to love the figure because this is just wild. I'm sitting here thinking about the difference of this guitar and what he already has, because this is a maple also. But there's actually, it's a huge difference, and I know it, or at least I believe I know it, because of the difference in this maple versus what he's got in his signature model. because I build them and I've heard them. But sometimes I worry, is it in my head? So this one's a deep body. It's got a sound forward hole on it, and that's the biggest difference. But in a subtle way, somebody you'd say, well, it's maple, so that's going to be the same. No, it's not, because it's not rock maple. And I don't know. I don't understand the workings of quilted maple. I don't know if it's a big leaf maple thing, or if it can be in any type of maple. I don't know how that quilting looks. And I know some maple has different colors. Some can be really bright white. Some can have more of a yellowy red color. Some can have, I did one and it sounded great, but it stank. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was particular to something that happened to the wood, but it stinks. It literally stunk, like it smelled bad. I don't know what, it had a beautiful flame in it, but, so there's difference. And I know from experience that when I use a quilted maple, it has a more mellower sound. It's not as bright. It's not as hard. And when I'm working with harder, like the rock maple or ebony, not ebony, but rosewood, you got to account for that. And if you make it too stiff, one, it'll be way too heavy. But if you make it too stiff, then it's very bright, and your lows are bright. They don't have the low, mellow, growly sound. So I have to work with the wood with understanding of density, I guess. But the quilted maple, for whatever reason, it's got a softer, more mellow. It actually lends, not that it is like mahogany, but the lower tones of mahogany, the softer, and like it's not as bright on the high ends as rosewood or rock maple. So the difference in this guitar is going to be, I think, pretty big, especially since it's a deep body, my deep body, and then it's got just a different, more ports, but I think it moves more air being bigger. And being the quilting has a different tone. And what makes me say all this is I was talking to a mandolin builder a couple weeks ago, because my son plays the mandolin, and he's getting to where he would like a custom-made mandolin. And so we're talking to a custom builder here in Indiana, and he's a young guy. He's 38. And he's doing a beautiful job. He's doing a phenomenal job. And me and him got talking wood differences, and he said the same. He was talking about the difference in the hard rock maple and quilted maple, and he described it as having a lower, mellower tone and similar to mahogany. And when he said that, I'm like, yes. I'm not the only one. I thought maybe it was in my head, but I do hear it. It is different. And so that was really neat. And he listened to my son play, and he was able to say, by the way that he played, here's what I would suggest for you. And as he was describing the way Jesse plays, I noticed it. I know it. And the wood that he suggested was interesting, is because I see where he's thinking. It was so fun to be able to talk to another builder and see the way he comes. I mean, and really completely different than Dobro's, but he thinks very much the same. He's looking for the same thing, and that's been. And I think luthiers, Dobro guys, don't want to talk too much to one another on that stuff, because we don't want to give away our secrets. And having this guy being a mandolin player, builder, he was more free, I think, comfortable. I don't know, but it was a joy to speak with him and to see that even though we've never talked, he has the same experience with the wood as I have, and he has generally the same description. Maybe puts it a little bit different, but he's talking about the same thing, I found. that was really cool. But this is going to be a different, this will be much different than what he has, even though it is maple. I'm excited, a little nervous. I want him, of course you want him to like it, right? So I'm anticipating Rob seeing it and then hearing it, and hoping he fully enjoys it. We're almost there. Finish is getting, the back would be done. There's just little imperfections in some different spots, like on the top and stuff. But oh yes. What an amazing wood. Huh. Alright, yet another guitar to cut the sound holes out of. Horrible job. Terrifying job.
I am dead inside.
That's the first time. That literally is the first time I have ever had it tear up like that. Huh. Told you it was a horrible job. One day I'd catch it on video too. There it is. Chipped a big old chunk. Wow. It's heart-wrenching. Huh. Maybe my bit is just worn out. It's probably the same bit I've been using all these Dobros. I think this is number 93 or something. I swear I think my paranoia makes me more prone to accidents. Because I'm to the point, you know, the show's coming up. And if it doesn't go right, anything happens, it can throw my timing off and makes it everything harder to get it done. I've made weird little mistakes. You scratch the top when you're doing the fretboard, things like that, and it knocks off your timeline. So you learn from it. And there's a new one. I don't know if it might be because of a dull. Oh, it feels sharp. Goodness. Well, all right. You say, oh no, it looks terrible. Not as bad as that crazy chip out of it. So I'm fixing it. That's what it's looking like. I just sprayed it. So you say it's all glossy. Yeah, but it dies back as it dries. Then I'll have to sink it down, then I'll spray the whole thing. It's better than it was. There. So I think I've straightened that mess out. Took me a little bit, but about as good as new, I believe. Stressful. Mercy. I told my wife, she goes, oh, you can fix it. Okay, thank you. I don't know what I want her to say, but there it is. All right, moving on. Here's a new feature. An Allen. It's hard to read. I got dust everywhere right now. Allen tailpiece. Probably a lot of you have heard of it, but I wonder how many of you have tried it. It's very interesting. It does a few different things. I'll tell you the one reason that I like it is it's heavier than the one that what we know as a tailpiece for a dobro. It's more solid, and it does mess with the sustain. There's some other things that I'm noticing about it, the way in the construction and what it does to the physics of the way the sound works on it. It's very interesting. Interesting story I'll share with you about that tailpiece. I have been wanting to try that for years, and the reason I haven't is the cost of it. And then when I think, oh yeah, I'll do that, I forget. And so I've got a customer who's been wanting one, and so I said, oh yeah, well, I'll get that for you. And I got one for me too, or to me to try. And I had it powder coated because I thought if I like it, I'll put it on Rob's guitar. Because this is this whole thing's a test for him. Like, he just wants to try it out. Because it's the deeper body. It's the sound forward hole. It's different. So I thought, oh, let's go all the way. And I got the tailpiece, and I had a churchwood in here. And the customer come in, and we got his guitar, and he's out playing it and just having a great time with it. Loved it. I said, you want to try this tailpiece? Are you in a hurry? And he said, no, we can try it. And so we took his strings off, took his tailpiece off, swapped it out, put this one on it. And I played it, and he played it for the very first time. I played it first. And then he looks at me and goes, what do you think? Well, I had an opinion, but I didn't tell him what it was. I said, I'm not going to say anything. You play it. Let me see what you think. And he took it, and he sat down, and I stood off and listened to it. And the hair on my arm stood up on end. Got goosebumps from the sound of it. He goes, wow. Well, it's not his tailpiece, it's Rob's. So he had to swap it back, and he says he's kind of looking forlorn and sad. And I said, what's wrong? He goes, I wish I'd never put that tailpiece back on there. I go, why? He says, because now I know what it sounded like with that. So right away we ordered him a tailpiece, and we'll be getting that to him. But it did make a considerable difference. It was surprising to me. So I want to hear it more. And it's not like you can't change it to the other. But there's quite a few things that I really do like. One of them is the weight. And then the other is the angles that the strings come off the back of the saddles. I like that too, and it changes that for the better, I think. So anyhow, that's a new one. You might look it up. Might be interested in trying one. The sad thing is it's a kind of an expensive tailpiece compared to what we normally use. To find out you actually don't like it, but I haven't heard a negative thing about it, honestly. So, Allen tailpiece. I'm not sponsored by them or nothing. I just like them. Try them out. All right, if you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and watch out for the next and the last video, which will be revealing to Rob and see what he thinks about it. Alrighty, see you next week.